Oh, to the garden. It's a New York sound like we in the garden. Huh? Everybody with a check ain't certified. If you look behind these shades, you see a murder house.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on, my creators? You already know when the go. It's another edition of Cut. You know what the Cut stand for? Culture, urban technology, and sports. Now, you know what happens here. We have the conversations with the power players, the tastemakers, the shakers, the artists, the creatives, the ones that are moving the culture forward. Nonetheless, to my left, to your right. Man, yo, let me tell you something. When it comes to getting my people, y'all know me. I'm a New York NYCer by heart, you know what I'm saying? There's no one particular town, but definitely when it comes to my Queens people, QGTM, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Reemo is a Queensite, you know what I mean? A Queens person, being from Laurelton, LA all day, North Side, you know what I mean? Definitely, this gentleman here has been hard working for a long time since I met him. I think I've known him since, I want to say my early beginnings in media when I started being behind the scenes. So I want to say around 2015, 16, I've met him. Dopeness. Actually, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. That's how I met him. I was behind the scenes, getting behind the scenes footage for Hip Hop Gamer, but he was a guest on Hip Hop Gamer's platform, and I think it was at B&H. Yeah, it was at B&H. You were a guest on it on We Got Game and stuff like that. And definitely from that point on, you know, we definitely always in our travels, passings, you know, definitely seen your work and everything like that. But nonetheless, I got hip hop artist, cannabis connoisseur, and entrepreneur, Conn. In the building, son. What's good, Conn?
Oh. Hip Hop Secret Agent Conn. I'm here. I'm in the building, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
You know, salute to you on your grind as well. You know, I got to tip my hat to you for all that you do. A lot of people don't see behind the scenes all the things that you put together, all the places that you are. You're everywhere. Right. You know, me being the secret agent, I might be in the cut somewhere, but I see you there as well.
Right.
You know
Now, hell yeah, as you should. Now, you know, let's get right into it. You know what I mean? Yo, you've been outside, since we talking about outside, you've been outside, you know, has become a hashtag. Always saying you've been outside. Mm-hmm. For you, when did you realize, you know, you weren't just rapping, you were building a legacy?
I realized I was building a legacy, I would say around 2005.
Okay.
Shout out to Rich Moore. We did a project. Shout out to Rich Moore. For those who don't know, he's in the movie Juice. He's one of the people that are beating up Tupac with Tretch in the movie Juice.
That's fire. Hell yeah.
Facts. You know, shout out to Rich Moore. But he basically, we did a project in 2005 called The One. We did 100 copies and we out in the street with it, you know. But because of that album, it led me into getting into the situation with Triborough, you know, shout out to Triborough. It also put me in the situation where we became the Guinness World Record holders. So I knew my legacy since 2005 really began, even though I started 10 years prior with my demo out of high school and all that, but we're going to say the real legacy started at that point.
All right, and speaking of point, it seems to me that, you know, you felt you were nice with it and you were pretty much one of those ones, you know. That's what's up. Like, what's something a young artist today would never survive from the era you came up in? What do you feel?
Well, what I feel, they probably wouldn't survive the streets. And I don't mean it in a bad way. When I say the streets, I'm talking about there was street team, there was movement on the street. You had to be out to the public. Nowadays, people are inside filming themselves. They're not really adjusted to what it was to survive in the streets, to be able to be aware of your surroundings, still get to the point of what you need to do, be respected, and have the skill set. A lot of these people are not putting in the time to hone your skills and build your skills up.
And that's what's up. I mean, do you feel that's more so a case of, you know, like staying relevant or staying real? Like, and also too for you, like, what do you feel is like harder with that?
Well, I feel like in today's society, it's harder for people to stay real because it's so easy to put a facade on. It's so tangible to put stuff out and do things and make it look like it's always a good look. You can make it look good, but if you stay real with yourself, even if it's a longer path, it's going to be a better experience.
Ned, I mean, that's it's for me. I feel it's very challenging today, you know, because how much content is so much out there, and how things are oversaturated to a degree of like, all right, it's hard for one to be a creative, to be different and stay real at the same time. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, okay, it's okay to be fake or it's okay to put a persona on, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how are we going to move through this? How are you going to separate yourself from the pack if, you have to go into those things? I mean, I do definitely get where your tone is coming from in regards to that. Like, what separates a veteran MC from someone who's just been around for a long time?
So say that again for a veteran MC?
What separates a veteran MC versus somebody that's just been around for a long time?
All right, so I'll say this. A veteran MC?
Yeah.
A veteran MC puts in the work. Kind of like how a bodybuilder, you can't become Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia just because you've been around the weight room. You got to put in that work. So when you're a veteran MC, you're honing your craft. You're getting into ciphers. You're building. You're challenging yourself, doing features with other artists. You're learning from your legends. Like shout out to Lord Finesse, shout out to Redman, shout out to Uncle Ralph, and all these people that I learned from the elders in this culture, and it helped me become the MC I am today. But taking that skill and mastering self, that's the key. Like a lot of people could just rap and they do this, but you need to there's so many different levels of the culture. So try to be well-versed in all the levels to become a master MC.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel, again, it goes back to what I was saying before about, when the field is so, abundance of the field, it's like you got so many players, you got so many athletes, you got, so many artists, so many media personalities, content creators, thereof. It's like, how does one like take the time to hone in to understand the culture? Not saying that they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, as far as like with our culture and hip hop culture, but I just feel like it's such a huge ask. And I'm not saying in regards to huge ask like it's bothersome, but it's like, because of those that have come into this culture and what they contributed and those ahead of that generation and so forth, you know what I mean?
Well, people got to do their research, you know what I mean? And I went to the University of YouTube and Google, meaning all the information you didn't need to know is out there. Like, if you want to educate yourself on the past of hip hop, you can deep dive and find out. Find out who was the first person to do this. Educate yourself. Let's talk about sports. You had mentioned athletes. Now think about it like this. Most athletes know about Jerry West or they'll know about Elgin Baylor. But then if you ask somebody about Grandmaster Cass or Melly Mel or somebody, a new age person, they'll be like, yo, who's that? Like, you know what I mean? So educate yourself with the culture. It's only like 52 years old. It's not like there's music that's been out for 100 years or so. This is one of the youngest genres. So it's not like you have to backtrack that far. But educate yourself on the culture, and that way you can really be part of the culture fully,
Yeah, I think also, too, more so it's willingness versus actual wanting, like willingness versus actually honing in the information. Because at the end of the day, like just like with me in education, because with my students that I deal with and everything like that, yeah, my initial premise is, okay, I want all of them to learn, right? But unfortunately, each student is different. Each student is going to take in the information at a different rate.
True.
So at the end of the day, like even with the artists today, not even artists today, just in today's times, creatives in today's times, it's so many. It's easy to go on YouTube University and everything like that, but then again, it's like, okay, who's willing to go down the rabbit hole, stay down the rabbit hole, and really take heed of the information or implement things within that? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there could be a trend that's out today, right? And because we got AI kind of like eliminates damn near all that. True. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's like, okay, if I'm said person, and all right, if AI is gonna, pretty much do the work for me, or for that matter, it cuts the time of production in half. Okay, well, I think I'm just gonna stay, you know what I'm saying, in that regard. But I do get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, see, to be able to do those things, you have to have discipline.
That part.
It's discipline, and truthfully, discipline will get you everything and anything in life. If you want to get physically fit, you got to discipline yourself with dieting and physical fitness. If you want to educate yourself, you have to be disciplined to do that. So even with the culture, Yeah, it's the information is there and it's available, but do you have the discipline to really stay with it and really educate yourself and then follow through? Because even with the discipline, having the knowledge and not applying it is not going to work either. You got to also apply it and put in that grind.
Right. Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. Yo, let's just say like if there was like a constitution with hip hop, right? What's one rule from the old hip hop constitution that needs to come back ASAP?
Originality.
Speak on that.
Originality, because nowadays what people do is when something's popping, a certain sound is popping, everyone emulates that sound. They kind of ride the wave of it. Now, and this is hip hop we speaking. Now, if you speaking about reggae, it's different because they have a vibe. Everybody ride the rhythm, you know what I mean? And that's understandable because that's what that culture is.
Right.
When hip hop, it's originality. Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane didn't sound the same. LL Cool J or Kumo D or KRS One, everybody sounded different. They had their own sound. Right. Even if your voice is similar, because I get a lot of times people say, you know, you remind me of Jadakiss, how you sound. And which is a great thing, of course, because salute to Jadakiss, but it's my voice. This has always been my voice. So you're always going to get compared to somebody because they want to, associate like, damn, it sounds like so-and-so, or you kind of remind me of this. But be original, be yourself.
Yeah, and it goes back to it, man. I think it's more so like the availability of the trend. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, like, once again, I'm not defending it, but just having sparked the conversation. I just feel like it's such a challenging ask because, like I said, it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the trend is there. The AI is there. The shit, even for people that want to be content creators, it's there now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus if you want to say like, if I want to pinpoint it, maybe like, let's say 15 years ago or 20 years ago, we had to work hard. We had to, get to the grind, be different, be original. Even back in those times too, in the 90s and the 80s, 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like the mystery was like this. You know what I'm saying? The mystery was like this for whom is the next talent? Whom is the superstar? Whom, how do they do it? And stuff like that, because it was a huge mystery. Now, because now it's reverse, now it's compact. The mystery is compact. Like, anybody, unfortunately, because the entryway into the culture, into the music, into entertainment thereof, into the business, into the industry is such at a low bar, that, anybody could do something, pick it up. If they know how to market right, if they know technology well, that's what's that's what it comes down to.
Well, it's the entry level has changed.
Yes.
Now the entry level is very low. The entry level is open to any and everybody. Before, you actually had to have talent. You actually had to have ability. You actually had to have some type of connection or work hard toward to get it. Now you could turn on your phone, go live, have a background, and you're on. It's that simple. So you have people that are out there that are getting recognition because of the accessibility is so easy to get to, and they may not have the talent, but they do have the technology, so it changes things a little bit.
Yeah, but even with that, right? I mean, yes, technology is, amongst everybody, but still the work has to be, put into play. You know what I'm saying? You still got to put in the work, but also too, it also falls down upon the individual. How much work are you willing to put in? Again, it comes back to will again. I think, we're the last of the dying breed of those that were like, that knew about, okay, the grind, the hustle, this is what has to be done step by step, this versus, and I know I hear it all the time, like, okay, if our era would have had more social media, but then again, I don't like that argument. For me, I don't like that viewpoint or pinpoint thereof, because it's like, again, we're misinterpreting about it that the work still has to be done. If anything showed a point in that, look what happened during COVID, especially for educators. Look, I could speak about that. That shit was challenging as hell because, everybody wants to say, well, the kids, they be on laptops anyway, or they be on iPads anyway. I was like, yo, that don't matter, okay? Because now they're at the confines of their home, you know what I'm saying, versus at school, when they were here on iPads or whatever, or using computers at school. And then all that, they should know what to do. Okay, cool. I hear you on that. But once again, Okay, it comes down to it depends on the type of kid. Yeah, just because you put an iPad in front of a kid, you can't expect that kid to now, run the whole database or the infrastructure. You know what I mean? Yeah, word.
No, 100%, and it's like it boils down to how much are you willing to put in work wise? Because sure, the technology is there now. Sure, the awareness is there more than ever. We in the age of awareness, awakenings and stuff. So everything is being put out in Front Street. But it always goes back down to discipline. At the end of the day, discipline is never going to change. Discipline is always going to be the key factor to your success in whatever you're doing.
Nah, that's a whole fact. All right, man. Let's go with this, man. 2020 in 2026, the independence is independence real or just a different type of contract?
Well, 2026 independency is real. I just think there's different outlets now for independence to do things. It's still real, but the game has changed so much. Because even with me in 2026, I went from independent to doing a partnership, but I'm still an independent artist. But it's like now, it's different. It has changed, but it's still there. It's just that now I would say it's not like independent back in the day out the trunk. 100% independent like it used to be because technology and things have changed, but it's still there. It is there. It's just that things are different. Labels are not what they used to be, and as far as artist development, certain things. So sometimes you have to build yourself up independently to a certain point before even getting recognized to that next level.
Yeah, and I want to ask you too. I want to ask you like the whole as of late, it's been brewing. Ever since it was announced with the Russell being with Rock Nation, and then the whole it started just brewing thing about him not being independent, being independent, whatever have you. For you, I want to know for you, when is that point when you're not independent? Not saying okay, if you get signed to a label or whatever and you're not independent, but there are people that have distribution. There are artists and creatives thereof that have distribution deals with the major corporations or the labels thereof. For you, I wanted to speak right now, reach out to my creatives right now and really break down that type of distinction.
All right, well, I'll just use myself as an example because recently I just did a partnership with Sony.
That's my congrats.
Shout out to my man H, shout out to my man Mike, Music Media Network, Surgical Records, of course, Vega Entertainment. We all have formed a partnership with Sony. Now, of course, we know Sony is a major when it comes to film, music, and electronics, right? So this is a partnership that has distribution. Of course, I'm a video game creator as well, so that fits right in with the Sony brand as well. But I still consider myself an independent artist because I'm at a point now where the new project that I'm doing, I'll be producing the project. So now I dabbled into the production world, so I'll be producing all my music from now on.
Nice.
I learned how to produce during my recovery when I had a serious injury and I was, down and out. Remember that? So I started learning and I honed my skills. So as I was healing my body, I was learning how to be a producer as well because I figure that's the best way. So when it comes to that, when we say independent, I still view myself as an independent artist, even though I just did a partnership with Sony, because I'm still, it's not like where it was where you're signed and then the label takes control of this. No, it's a partnership. So it's not like you're just signing, the label's giving you the directive. It's a partnership. So now, we take what I'm thinking and then the resource they have, we put it together to work. So you're still independent, but now you're making partnerships,
Right, and then for me, it's always been confusing about why I have this debate. I thought the goal is okay. You're supposed to advance in what you do with your craft or your creativity. Just like what Jay-Z said during his interview. I'm saying I create art and then for it to sell. Regardless of if it's independent or not independent. Yeah. And I get it because you don't want people controlling you or having that. But at the end of the day, it's a good amount of people that survived in this game, they had to make a sacrifice just to get to making 100% of something of their own. And I get it, but I feel like that whole narrative of it being pushed out there, I gotta have 100%, I gotta have 100%. It's okay, but then how is the value increasing if you're not sacrificing some kind of percentage. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no,
what do you feel about that in that regard?
Put like this. Just you have to be a smart business person.
Right.
You know, you can go for the okie doke, what a lot of people have done in the past, and people still do, or you can go to a beautiful situation. It depends on what you negotiate. It depends on your knowledge and understanding of the business itself. I also tell all artists, educate yourself, strengthen your mind, be well versed in the entertainment business, because we are artists and we do music, but understand the business. So that way, when a situation like what was bestowed upon me with Sony, I understood what I deserve, what's fair, and what I agree upon. I didn't just say, oh, just sign the dotted line. It had to be something that was a beautiful situation that I felt comfortable with first and foremost. Right. I've been around too long to just do anything. And we've been there before. Shout out to Triborough. Y'all know what we talking about. You know what we talking about. We had $1 million deals on the table before.
Right.
I've even solo artists with J Records. Right before Alicia Keys came out, I'm sitting at the table with her, didn't even know who she was. Situation where I was supposed to be in a group with Papoose, True Mac, and some other people all when we first started around that time. So I've seen that before. So if you have to learn and grow and learn from the mistakes of others, because they tell their stories, and don't do the same thing.
Right. Now, that's what's up. Streaming made everybody visible, but did it make artists more valuable or more disposable?
More disposable, I feel, and depending on what their situation is. Because right now, let's just keep it a buck. When you do, you got your TuneCores and DistroKids and CD Babies and things, and it's good because it gives the artist independency. But at the same time, if I was out the trunk of my car selling $10 a pop compared to a stream being 1/4 of a penny on that level, it's a big difference. It's such a big difference that you're not even seeing what your music really deserves, from that level. So just artists understand independency. If you really want to say independency, sell something out your trunk of your car or whatever. Make a vinyl record. Have something tangible that you can sell with your music attached to it, and build up your budget. And then make the moves from there. Because with streaming, if you're just gonna do the bottom level streaming, you're getting 1/4 of a penny. What are you really seeing? Right.
And then I want to know from you, like, as of late with J. Cole's movement, what he's done. Do you feel if more follow those footsteps, do you feel that could possibly change things, change the leverage? Like, take us into that.
Yeah, it is actually. And you know what? Think of last summer with Cardi B when she was on the Ave with the incense in Harlem with the incense, had a CDs and vinyl. Artists are getting back to that. Everything is changing, but we're also in a 30-year cycle. It's back to 96 all over again. From 94 to 96 was a great time for hip hop, and look at 24 to 26. Look at all the legacy artists that have returned with phenomenal projects. Yeah, we're in a 30-year cycle. These things are real. Bell Bottoms was hot in the 70s, came back in the 90s, then it came back again now. You feel what I'm saying? It's just...
And baggy jeans.
And baggy. Remember, so everything is back. So we're in a point now where, yes, it's getting to a point where people are starting to sell. Cardi B and J. Cole are the first out of the majors. J. Cole riding around out the trunk of the car. He took it back to that level. Cardi B on the street with the CDs and the incense. It looked like a joke, but she's really doing that, and they really selling their units, hard copies. So it's coming back to that point, and I'm loving it because I started my career as a kid, my first demo actually in 96, so this is like my 30-year cycle,
That's what's up, man. Yo, what do you feel is the biggest lie the music industry still tries to sell artists in 2026?
The biggest lie that the industry sells artists?
Yeah, try to sell artists in 2026.
Sign with us. Don't even look at the contract. We'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still going to do that. Hey, do a 360. We'll have your head spin and enjoy. All right, so you think, oh, yeah, we'll give you $25,000, not knowing this recoupable and everything that you use in your budget in the studio time. You're in the big studios with them and you're feeling good, but it's all coming from your budget. So it's tricknology. They still pulling the wool over your eyes if you allow it. They still going to do it. So, yeah, the biggest scam or the biggest thing is sign with us. Don't worry about all those papers. Just sign with us and be happy. Yeah.
All right, man. Let's stick with home, yo. You know what I'm saying? NYC, the culture... it still breathes, it still has its impact, but some feel that, it might be losing its steam in a way. Like, I want to know from you, like, is NYC losing its grip on the culture, or are we just not unified like we used to be?
Put like this. I feel like we are now starting to get back to that, but for the last 15 years almost, we have lost ourselves because we started following others instead of being the trendsetters. We were the trendsetters from the beginning of hip hop all the way into the early 2000s. I would even say to close to 2010. After that, there's certain sounds that came out, and that's great because we had the Ghetto Boys, we had Master P, we had these people who had their sound, and we all worked together. On 4321, Master P was there, so was Cannabis, so was LL Method. Everybody was different. Nowadays, we hear a sound that's popping, and instead of doing what we're doing and make it pop, we want to kind of copy that. You know, New York was always the trendsetter. Once we became the emulators, we lost it. But nowadays, if you guys notice, trap, drill, everything's kind of dying down. And that's because our forefathers, the legacy artists, have returned and brought it back. Shout out to Eric Sermon, shout out to Redman, shout out to Eminem, shout out to Rakim, shout out to all these people that have come back. Snoop Dogg, they all came back. The Clips, incredible projects. Raekwon, Ghostface, everybody has come back, you know? And now they set the trend, and they didn't try to follow anything. They did what they did, so now ours are seeing. We got young artists now that are coming out on boom bap levels. Right. That's coming back. We got young artists doing boom bap. So now I feel New York is starting to get their identity back. And shout out to the females, because the females have been running things for quite a while right now. They
Femcs.
The Femcs. Shout out to that's true. The Femcs, man. Shout out to the Femcs. Y'all doing it.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. Do you think what's the conversation that New York artists need to have right now? Oh, no, sorry. What's the conversation that you feel New York artists are avoiding right now?
Unity.
Right.
Collaboration. Teamwork. You know, we could do that. We could bring it back to let's start working with each other, doing features with each other, projects together, collab projects. Bring it back to that era. So I think what we're avoiding, the conversation we're avoiding is the unity to make us powerful again. To stand out again. And it's happening slowly but surely just because of the music cycle itself. But we can speed up and expedite that situation if we come together. You know, it's too much in New York, it's too much competitive, which is great as an MC, but, you know, back in the day, even when the Lox and Jay-Z did a record, they might have been going at each other on Reservoir Dogs, but they were on a record together. Still, they kept it competitive in the sport of the culture. You know what I mean? We don't do that now. Now it's about memes and nonsense that's happening. You know, we need to be together, man.
Nah, and then also too, I think it's also too, you gotta think it's too cliquey and too mixy in NYC. I'm not saying not to get along with people, but it's like if you're not part of that certain clique or a certain like mixy circle, or you're not in the mixy chat group, and if you're not this, then you get alienated out. Oh yeah, and then it's like. Then from that, the alienation, nobody like keeps it. You know, they don't maintain it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because now, okay, if that person's lit, now you want to lower your alienation levels or lower your defenses. And now, because that person's lit, now I'm going to jump on versus just willingly get ahead and collaborate or willingly make a solid business process, you know, going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been told recently, shout out to, I'm not gonna say who, just, you know, because, but they say, hey, yo, Conn, a lot of people don't like you. And, you know, I said,
don't trust me. I get it too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like me, but what it is I do everything by myself. And not that I want to, but like you said with the clicky stuff, I'm not gonna lower my standards, and I'm not gonna become a minion for someone else because they're buzzing and doing their thing. I salute them. I'm happy for them.
Right.
And if they would like to collaborate, I would be down for it 100%. But I'm not going to be right behind you. Hey, whatever you want to do, sir, let's do it. And just to be on, like you said, the clicky thing. They follow a wave of one person, that's whatever. So when you do things on your own, you see how I move. I'm really secret agent of hip hop. I move by myself and do a lot. Right. People don't like that because I put in the time and discipline to educate myself so I can do everything, even with production now. So I don't need anybody, but I will collaborate. But people want you to need them or work with them on their terms. And I'm not willing to do that. We could do it on even terms, but not your way or the highway.
Yeah, and that's crazy too. It's like, for me, I'll speak about my experiences. You know, not say that I didn't do my best to work with people, But but for me, I'm a curse. Screw it. It's the first time I curse, right? I'm trying to like be more political. Or
Hey, they'll put the
no,
beats
but
there.
no. We ain't gonna put no beats. I'm gonna tell you. No, the shit that be fucking pissing me off is it's like the weirdo dismissing value. You know, dismissing of one's value. Now, I'm not saying that not to know a role or what to do within the collaboration, right? I'm not talking about that. But it's like, we're not trying to, don't try to treat me like no fucking doja or try to treat a person like a doja or like a runarounder or whatever, knowing that, of that person's resume or whatever have you, you know what they can do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. Like, look, like perfect example, right? Like when I was with Hip Hop Gamer, right? When I was doing productions for Hip Hop Gamer, right? Okay, yeah. I knew I had to do productions, but in the same token, I wouldn't like go and host or whatever because I knew my role. But in the same token, Hip Hop Gamer, when it came to introducing people or me introducing people to me, he didn't do the dumb shit like, oh, well, yeah, this is my videographer, or this is my cameraman, or this is the guy that does the content. No, he introduced me as, this is Reemo Meerak. And then from there, gave me the opportunity to allow myself to introduce myself, or for that matter, let people know what is of what I do. You know what I mean? I feel like in New York, it'd be crazy. It's like, motherfuckers be really trying to treat you like a doja, and it's like, bro, or try to treat you like a sucker or a minion. Yeah. And it's like, bro, you don't even know about the rooms that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a couple times that happened to a couple of people that I did work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, just because. Okay, fine, they know you and everything. Like how you know they don't know me, or how you know I don't know them, or for that matter, what capacity or what rooms I was possibly in, and I already met those people. You know, mm-hmm. Just because I don't say it or I don't promote it on social media, or for that matter, I don't be boastful and just drop names like that or whatever. That don't mean I ain't move and shake around here, mm-hmm. And vice versa. And even with me, there's nobody. Look, I'm looking to the camera. My creators, you know what's up, and people that have worked with me, you know for facts. If there was events I ain't never do no sucker shit like that. You know, I ain't never go, oh well, this is my videographer. This guy right here, this guy or she holds my bags. And no, mm-hmm. I said no. This is the person's name. Okay, y'all do whatever, say what's up, mm-hmm. Link up, and I move around. Mm-hmm. I move around in events. You see, how many times have you seen me in events? Yeah. Or places you see me at? Okay, if I did have somebody with me, I ain't do the sucker shit, but this motherfucker under my wing. I'm the reason why he came in here with me. Mm-hmm. No, I introduce you and I bounce because I still had to do moving and shaking around the room. And that's what kills me. That's what killed me. And I'll be seeing it. It's happened to me. You experience it. You know what I mean? It's just so whack and trash.
Nah, it's super whack. And being that we mentioned, big shout out, big salute to Hip Hop Gamer.
Right? Yes, definitely.
Big salute, because he's one of the realest. He's the GOAT of the game, but he's one of the realest in the game. Yes. And I'll say that because I met Hip Hop Gamer at the BET Awards in 2016 or whatever in California. When I had the prototype of my video game Quest for the Golden Mics. He saw that and was like, yo, this is crazy. Yo, I'm going to have you on my show when I get back to New York. And, people say, I didn't know him at the time, so I was like, oh, cool. But then I'm like, people say these things. Lo and behold, that's how we're met. He sticks, always keeps his word. Like you said, never do that. So I always want to salute him on every time I get, because he's one of the realest people I know. When I was in the hospital, when I was down and out, I was in a wheelchair, who was calling me? Hip Hop Gamer. Checking up on me. You know what I mean? That's that real. But getting back to what we saying with the high and mighty, treat you a little funny, people don't realize, I know executives on a personal level. I know people, I don't reach out. The legendary people I know personally, right, as my friends, and I never ask for favors. They know me, they respect me in the culture. And then you have people that may not know my history, and then they try to act funny style, like how we saying. And I look at them like, all right, obviously you don't know who I am, and you're not even respecting my pen. You don't respect who I am as a person, because your head is gassed up because you have all these minions behind you. And I get it, because I see it all the time. You have one person with a bunch of people behind them wanting to get in that space they're in, and it gasses that person up. I've always been humble. You never, I mean, I'm always by myself, but if I'm with somebody, same way, introduce, connect the dots all the time. There's nothing to gatekeep or hide, and there's nothing to try. Why would you down somebody else and to make yourself feel good? Look in the mirror and feel good. Don't worry about all that high and mighty nonsense, you know? The game is twisted in that way, man, but we here to let it be known, and we here to help turn the wheels around and to knock that off. Y'all need to knock that off. Now I'm looking at y'all need to knock that off.
Yeah, it's just trash. Yeah. It's cornball work. It's like, because then now it's like okay, I can say a couple of situations for me that happened. Like, the fuckers did that crap, and then they had to remind. It was embarrassing. It's like they had to remind them, like, yo, that's Reemo Meerak. They even said my government. They said, no, it's Kareem. I knew Kareem from from back when he was hooping or whatever. Or for that matter, I knew him when he came into this industry earlier on with acting. You know, they would tell him things. It's like, here I come now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do the I told you so shoulders, or I gotta do the eye rise. I gotta do the eye raise, like, because it's like, what are you doing that for? Yeah. Versus, like I said, when it comes to me, I never cared about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that I never thought of myself high, or for that matter, I never understood my value. But in the same token, please, what does that do? Because that's embarrassing. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like I'm making it seem like you lesser than somebody, or less of a human, or less of a person, and you put all this work in. It's like, oh, what are we doing?
Be humble. They not humble. We are humble as men. We're humble, even with all the accolades, all the amazing things that you have done, all the amazing things that I have done. We remain humble at all times. We don't get gas. We do it for the right reason. We do it for the love, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, too. A lot of people are in this game. They're not really in it for the love. They're in it for the opportunity. So it's going to be a different kind of treatment with other people, because they're not important to you. Oh, he can't do nothing for me. If you don't know that he can, whoever, son, I get out of my way. Let me get to the person that can do something for me. And then you come to find out, oh, I'm connected to the person. Now you want to come back. It's very funny, very fake, but we're not with that.
Shit, I'll even be transparent. My careers, I'm reaching out, I'll be transparent. Even when Sean Conn hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Not because, because we known each other and we worked, behind the scenes, and we worked in this industry and entertainment business, you know what I'm saying, for years and all that. I didn't do the, all right, wave my hand, wait a minute. Nah, I said, all right, cool, let's get it. I said, what can you do for me? What can you do to pull up? I sent them the link, and from there we here. And it's just like, again, it just kills me, like, within hip hop, like, why in hip hop culture, it's so many fucking conditions or conditionals, versus other genres. They don't be having these fucking conditionals like that. Like, yeah, they conduct business and everything like that, or what have you. But the conditionals, like, nah, they don't be doing that conditional shit like that. It's only within hip hop culture, which just like irks the shit out of me. Yeah. And even in New York culture, just irks the shit out of me. It's like, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah, we don't have, ain't no country and western situation this way, you know what I mean? If they do have their thing, they probably take it in the back, squabble it out, and then shake hands as men or women or whatever the case may be. But it is hip-hop. But from my understanding and, from what I see as long as I've been with the culture, it also is conditioning. You know what I'm saying? It's conditioning, because it's not just we are that way. We've been conditioned that way. Because even back when, even with the J Record situation in 2000, how about, I was married at the time, right? I had a wedding ring on. My man, shout out to Jeff Robinson. He put out Alicia Keys, of course. And this is just, I'm being transparent with y'all. You know what I mean? He also has her. He does her now. Phenomenal gentleman. He was like, oh, that's a no-no. He said that right there, can't even show that, because you have to have the mystique. So just giving y'all an example. So you already now have to be a little guarded, like, all right, I can't hide, I got to hide my personal life. And then they want you not to mention, you want to be mysterious. But then it also is when an artist is young, say I'm a kid at that time or whatever, or young, but then as you mature, if you once you're 30, it's over hip-hop. You can't rap no more. What are y'all talking about? First of all, some of the greatest music that has come out in current times is artists that are like 50 and over right now. So y'all are not saying much or nothing, but that is the tricknology. Because what it is the truth of the matter is, they don't want you to get wisdom. When you're young, you're impressionable and they can take advantage. Right. As you get a little older and get wiser, they're going to tell you, no, you're too old for this now. Not that you're too old for it. You know too much, so we can't use you no more. Man. So that's why the game is twisted, because now everybody has been taught this is what it got to be. You got to be this. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's all about creativity, originality. Be yourself. Be transparent. Some of the illest artists that we've ever felt in history are DMX and Tupac. Why? Because they bared their real heart out to the world, and they felt that, you know?
Nah, that's what's up. But then let's definitely get to two of your latest projects you dropped in 2025. The one, which is your 20th anniversary? Yeah, 20th anniversary project. And also, two, My Constitution. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So if the one dropped today, right? Well, it did drop today, but let's just let's say like you dropped it today or whatever. Does it hit the same or does it shake the game differently?
I would say this, because when I did put it out on the anniversary, because it was never out on any streaming platforms, because at that time they didn't exist. Right. You know, it was, and it's a mystery album. Shout out to Rich Moore, he produced the entire album, but we only pressed up 100 copies, and I handed it out to certain people, just handed it out. Right. It wasn't even something that we sold. I never re-upped on it, and what happened was, you know, that brought me to a college radio interview, and so much things happened, Triber, all that. But to say the impact of it would be different if I would have pushed it that way. I just put it out as the anniversary, but I didn't push it that much after. It's kind of like, here it is for those who never heard it. So if people double back and listen to it, they can see how it's culture shifting even 20 years later. You know, that album taught me how to be an artist. Not just a rapper, not just an MC, but an artist. You know, so the reason it does shift the culture, because it showed me how not just to spit bars and not just to be able to rap, but how to put songs together.
And put a story together.
How to put a story together. How to give you a full album with conceptual vibes, you know, and that even gets into the Constitution, the you know.
All right, let's stay on that. Definitely talk about that. My Constitution sounds like a statement. What are you standing on that you refuse to compromise on that project?
My integrity as a man, as a human being, you know, as an artist, as an MC for the culture. I'm not going to compromise my sound. Shout out to Cartoons from Slovenia, who saw my interview with Hip Hop Gamer years ago, got inspired, learned how to produce, and then while I was in the hospital, him not knowing, but reached out to me through an email. He had no social media and wanted to work with me, and that's why we started working on that project.
Oh, that's mean.
So now, the entire project is done by a Slovenian kid who was a kid at the time, and then almost 8 years later, he's older, reached out to me. We did the project, and it was like, I made it through an idea to him. Like, for instance, there's a song with me and TL. Matter of fact, you were there at the video shoot on Farmers Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was dumb hot.
Yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that was dumb hot.
Yeah. So during that right there, I told him, I said, yo, I wanna kind of get the feel of Give Up the Goods from Mobb Deep. And then he made a joint that had that vibe, and then me and TL did what we did. So that project, it was just my return to music, because for a while I kind of, like for almost 2 years, I kind of lost, like I was going through a lot of pain. I had a serious ailment with my leg. I had so much pain I couldn't perform. I couldn't even think straight. I was in severe pain. I had 4th stage osteoarthritis. Wow. I didn't even know. It was bone on bone. I didn't even know that happened until I had to get the x-rays, because I was in so much pain I couldn't hardly walk. You know, so it ruined my whole just creative mindset. I thought they was gonna chop my leg off. Really, I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I was like, I don't got it no more. I don't, you know. So I lost hope for like a year and a half. But when I was in that hospital bed, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this is real. I've heard people say it before. When they say, "Yo, the Most High spoke to me," I was asleep. I woke up out of my sleep. I had a message in my head. I wrote down everything it was, and it was about the sun gazing, all the things that I need to do to build myself up. And then rest in peace to my man, Mr. Me, who passed 5 days after my surgery. Oh, wow. Also, I was told, because he was a producer, and he said, yo, Conn, you could be an ill producer. You got that ear. And I used to be like, nah, I'm going to just focus on my writing. I don't think so. But when he died, I was like, you know what? I'ma learn. And that's when I started learning like that recovery process. While I was writing my album, doing the My Constitution, I also was learning. Shout out to Alus, who gave me the Logic program and showed me how to work it.
It's Alus, the one that works with Bianca.
Bianca, yes.
Alus, yes.
And remember, me and
Conn
Alus,
Genius.
yes, Conn Genius. Me and Alus were in the group Triborough for 10 years. That's me, Alus, and Fresh Air, Bronx, Harlem, and Queens.
Holy shit.
That's how that is. That's Triborough.
Wow.
Yeah, we a group, 5-time Guinness World Record holder, award-winning group, tour, all the stuff we've done as Triborough. So
damn.
Yes, and since 2005, Alus has been my engineer, as well. I met him with the one album that somebody called me at Baruch College. He was a student at Baruch College, heard me on the radio. He called up, like, yo, I got to work. I got to do a song with you. That's how it happened, So, yeah, man.
You know what I mean, my creators? It always happens here on Cut, son. I swear.
Yeah,
that's fire.
Yeah,
that's fire.
Shout out to Alus, the Conn Genius. And Alus, I want some new Alus music too.
Alus, you gotta pull up to the pod.
Yeah, you gotta pull up. He just dropped the joint, Legacy song as well. But I told him, Alus, time for some new joints too, man. Let's get back in there, Shout out to Bianca too. You know what I mean?
Bianca's super killing.
Super fire.
Yeah, the freestyle she dropped the other day.
Oh, crazy!
She was
the
on
one train joint.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yo, Bianca, you want battle? What's up? Yeah. Got them bars. But so a lot of people don't know. Me and Alus and Fresh Air, Triborough. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Rapathon veterans. We opened up for Rakim at BB King's House of Blues on Times Square. All these amazing things, man. That's why I say, man, life is a journey, and these moments are priceless. Me on stage and Dougie Fresh beatboxing while I'm around, me opening up with LL at the Power 105 car show, whatever the case may be, those moments are priceless. Just last week, 2 weeks ago, Onyx and DMC on Jamaica Avenue. I'm up in the video. Shout out to Lord Nez. That's my guy. He produced the record. Stuff like that,
That's what's up, man. I was going to ask you a couple more about media publication landscape for artists, and then from there we definitely got to get you with Bars of Cap.
Okay, yeah.
So, let's go with this one right here. Do you trust hip hop media right now, or does it feel more like content farms than culture curators?
Depends on who the person is that's curating the situation.
Okay.
Of course, you pure to the culture, trust 1,000,000%. Somebody that might just run up to me, yeah, gang, what's up? Do you do this, gang? And it's like some type of joke. It's clickbait or whatever they doing. Cool, respect to that for what you're doing. You know what I mean? Would I trust that? No, because usually they ask you some type of wild question that's like a trolling type of situation because they want to make viral content. That's cool too. But things like this, things that are staples in the media culture, that's what I trust. That fly-by-night stuff, I don't trust it. Not saying that I wouldn't associate myself with it, but I'm always being aware. I'm on my Bruce Wayne. I'm really being a detective to make sure everything is straight,
That's what's up. That's what's up. And then also, too, if an artist isn't controlling their narrative in 2026, whose fault is that?
You said if artists are not...
If an artist isn't controlling their narrative in 2026, whose fault is that? Who does that
If
fall
an artist in 2026 is not controlling their narrative, it's their fault.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is you have all the tools you need to control your narrative. You can go on Amazon and get you a camera, rig, lights, background, anything you need to control your narrative. If you're going to allow somebody to tell you, oh, just listen to me, just follow me, just do what I say, do it this way, and not be in control of yourself, you know what's best for yourself. So if you're willing to compromise what's best for you because you think it's an opportunity, then you're dooming yourself.
Nah, that's what's up. All right, my creators, we're going to get right to it right now. You know how this goes, kid. Bars of Cap. You know what Bars of Cap, kid? It's the game segment we play here on Cuts. I throw scenarios at the guest, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to throw scenarios at Sean Conn. And if he agrees with bar, Cap. If he doesn't agree, the self-explanatory is Cap. Either no on the fence.
Mm-hmm. It's either one or the other. Yeah.
Either or, one or the other.
True.
You ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right to it. All right. Being a veteran MC automatically means you deserve respect. Bars or Cap?
Cap.
All right, why Cap?
Because respect is earned. You could be a veteran MC and be a jerk. Just because you've been around and you're a veteran at something just means that you have time in it, but you can be a real jerk, so Cap.
All right. You can't call yourself nice if you never got tested in a real rap environment. Bars or Cap?
Bars.
What's up? What's up?
Bars, because you could be in your mirror all day. I'm nice and spitting whatever you think you spitting until you get into the trenches with or shout out to Sway, the hitters, the hyenas, all the MCs, the real rights. Then that's when you prove yourself.
All right, man. The internet made it easier to look like a legend without putting in legendary work. Bars or cap?
Bars.
All right.
And I'm going to say why, because it's smoke and mirrors. This industry has mostly been smoke and mirrors anyway, but now with social media, it's smoke, mirrors, razzle, madazzle, rhythm and dang, and all the rest.
Razzle, dazzle goes crazy. I'm not going to lie to you, Sean Conn. That is wild.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo, the music industry profits more off of confusion than talent. Bars or cap?
That's bars, actually. And we gonna take it back to NWA days. They talking about the CIA was trying to push the gangster culture, rap culture towards the Society of America to cause violence in our streets. So definitely it's a narrative. And that's why when the Black Medallion movement came out in the late 80s and 90s and all that, shout out to X-Clan, shout out to, Blastmaster KRS-One and everybody, when they were doing the Black Power movement, they threw in the gangster stuff and pushed that to the highest point because they didn't want that narrative. When De La Soul, when the Tribe Called Quest, and all that, the native tongue, all that was education. X-Clan, education, Public Enemy. They were giving you education, fight the power, all these things. And they were selling. They were doing great, but they wanted more of a destructive mindset. So NWA was that thing. And not to disclaim them because that's what they're coming from their standpoint and their reality. So that's true to them. But there's room for everything.
Yeah. I just, though, at the end of the day, man, my creatives, listen, man, just do the research, do the due diligence, do not get confused. Don't take everything for face value, especially within the hip hop culture. I'm not going against the hip hop culture saying that that's the thing that happens all the time, but do the due diligence, You feel me? Most artists sign deals because they don't understand leverage. Bars or cap?
Cap.
I speak on that.
Because it's many reasons why artists sign deals. Not just because they don't understand the leverage, and it can go either way. Because depending on what your contract states is what your deal is going to get for you. So it could be a leverage deal, and that could be a great situation, or it could be something that is totally, they take your likeness, 360 deal, everything is bad. So the reason I say cap is because every situation can be different if you know how to negotiate it.
Yeah, no, that was dope. Yeah, New York doesn't support its own until outsiders validate them. Bars or cap? That's
bars to me.
Stupid bars.
That's bars to me.
Stupid.
That's bars to me. And
what?
It's bars because it's so crazy. Like, it's just a true fact. You don't get the support in your hometown the way you do, or even with people you know. Total strangers are your support system, your fan base, and everything. One, because they don't know you at all they know is what they have heard, so your introduction musically is their introduction to you. People that went to school with you, I went to school with that. He ain't whatever. Y'all know, we used to play ball, or that's just Conn, that's just Sean. He's not, that's just Sean. But, and that right there makes it where, now, when you have a single that's popping off and it goes around and now they seeing you perform in Atlanta and then you in Vegas and you're doing whatever, then when you come back, I knew you could do it, Conn, that's what I'm talking about, and all that stuff.
Not even that, the fucking, I'm the reason why he did this story.
You know what? He started rapping because I told him, buy that Redman album, because Redman is what inspired me to write rhymes. So I was the one that told him, Redman album coming out.
But my thing is that's so fucking crazy. It's like, okay, even if someone taught you a basic thing, right? Yeah. Flatline bass, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you equate that for the whole totality of the career? And just dismiss and eliminate the work that got put to for that person to get to a level. That should be irking me. In hip-hop, that shit irks, hip-hop culture, NYC culture, that irks the living shit out of me. And I'm not saying that to not, I'm going to reach out on this one, my creators. I'm not saying to not give respect to those that helped you along the way. That's not what I'm talking about. When it starts overcompensating of the totality of one's career, where a aspect is overlooked as over the whole career. It's like, how the fuck do you equate that? Man. How the fuck do you equate that? So let's say with the scenario you said, right? Okay, let's say if you did listen to Redman without their influence, but you found it at another spot, let's say Tower Records back in the day. Yeah, I'm showing my age. Like Tower Records or Virgin Records. You went there and listened to Redman, right? So now what? So now what you found in your discovery don't matter to your career because that person or your friend or whatever you had to be the one to influence you for. Like, that should sound, sounds asinine.
It's real, and also it's funny because even like the way I heard Redman is funny because it was actually Park Jam tape. It was actually a 1990 Park Jam tape with Biz Markie, rest in peace, and Biz Markie brought. It was in Monticello Park in Queens.
Okay.
Biz Markie brought Redman. I wasn't there at the park when the freestyle happened.
Oh, you're talking about the Bello?
Montebello joint. Montebello Park.
Springfield.
Yes, Montebello.
Yes, shout out to the Bello.
Yeah, shout out to Bello. So Redman, Biz Markie was there and brought out Redman. Redman did these freestyles. I remember bar for bar everything he said. But my boy brought the tape to the block. That's how I heard Redman. Before even his album and all that. Months later, he had the hardcore with EPMD. Then he did his album in like 91, I think it was, or whatever, a little later. But from that moment, I was inspired. So if my boy wanted to be like, yo, I brought that Redman tape to the block, and that's why you rhyme, and I'm the reason, that could be something. Also, Rich Moore could be like, yo, I taught you song format a certain way, so Conn, you the reason.
No, true. But what I'm saying is, right, I gotta push back a little because that's more for me. I feel that's more aspect versus totality of the whole career.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
No, it's true. Because like for
hype, and I'm not saying I'm not taking away from what they.
No, they did certain things, but I kept it going. Cause
you had to do the work.
You could show me, like for instance, perfect example. Shout out to Alus once again. Even though he gave me the Logic program and showed me how to work it, I had to make the beats. So even if he's like, yo, I did that, and, I gave you the program, and that's why you make beats, that's true. But you're not the reason I got good at making beats. I had to keep going. Same thing with rhymes and writing songs. Okay, you might introduce me something that influenced me, or you might have been the first person when I was in 10th grade to take me to the studio. But I've been going to the studio ever since.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's like, look, like even with me, like when I was doing producing, not saying that there was certain things I was learning from YouTube University, but I did take classes at Manhattan Neighborhood Network or whatever. Now, I'm not going to dismiss them in that regard, but if it was to be like, okay, take credit for my whole fucking career, it's like,
yeah.
No, like I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm gonna argue the shit out of that, and I'm gonna have to be like, no, because it's like that shit irks me, and like I said again, is in hip hop culture, and especially in New York culture. That shit is like nerve-wracking as hell, son. And I'll be like hearing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's almost like some Son Dula type shit. It's like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Just because you get, like, even look, there's a couple of creators, influencers. When they ask me about certain basic things, about how to do things with basics, right? At editing and filming and all that. I told them that, but I never came out my mouth and said, yeah, well, me teaching you the basics sparked your career, and I'm the reason. And what the fuck are you talking about? I showed it to you, yeah, cool, but you still got to put in the fucking work. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that shit be irking me, and they'd be like, yo, the fuckers be doing that shit, and it's like, yo, bro, you're confusing showing respect versus actual totality or actual overthrow or whatever have you of one's career. Like that's like a casting director. That's like a casting director. Okay, if a casting director casted Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever for a movie, okay, well, I'm the reason why his career. It's like, okay, I get it on a logistics and process standpoint, but not for the whole fucking totality of the fucking career is.
But people like to do that. And people, what they do is, if they're associated with something that becomes successful or goes a certain way, they want to bring themselves into it and give themselves credit. I'm even in a situation similar to where somebody feels because they did a certain thing that the whole reason is they're the reason why which is definitely not true. So I agree with you 100%. This is why you always see Sean Conn by himself and on a mission, and this is why I might not be liked as much. Why? Because I stay away. As soon as somebody start talking, yeah, that dude, I walk away. In the middle of a I could be looking, talk, yo, I'm holler at you. Yo, what you talking about? I'm out. I don't gotta answer nothing to you. I don't care if you think I'm crazy for walking away. I walk away. You know what I'm saying? I'm at that point. I'm at that point.
That shit be crazy. And I've seen a couple of vets kind of like do that shit. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like in my head, like I've said it a couple times, but I also said it in my head. So I'm like, yo, the fuck are you doing? That just doesn't even sound right. It just straight for me. I don't care my career. You can say whatever you want. And those watching, you can say what you want. That shit doesn't fucking sound right. Mm-hmm. That shit doesn't sound right. It's not even fucking logical. Like, come on. Like, that's like crazy. That's like crazy. It's like that's like the world chefs and all that, right? They went to culinary school. All right? That's like the culinary school they went to claiming their career. Like, what are you talking about? But what if they failed? What if that person failed? Yeah. Where's the claim? Yeah, where's the claim at when it failed? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Fucking
That's a fact.
Where's that same energy when there's a fucking failure?
Yeah.
Where's the same energy?
See, and that's the key because they might have had 1 million students and then 10 of them became successful to a certain level. Now you're going to claim that, but those other 900, 100, 1,000, whatever, take that little off. You didn't say nothing about that. What about those? Yo, he failed. He didn't do this. His career went nowhere. I'm the reason why. Cause you ain't claiming that though. You want to claim the victories, but not the losses. You know, just claim what you do for yourself. That's why I always tell people, like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, we're all masters of our own universe. That's it. So no matter what, we may meet somebody along the way, but we're still the ones running this universe. So don't ever try to claim my universe. It's my universe.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
That's what the hell I'm saying. It's like, motherfuckers, yo, that shit be irking the shit out of me. And I get it. I get it on the other flip end too, because motherfuckers sometimes will act like that never happened, right? Okay, cool. I get that part. But when you start going past that point, and now you're talking, I can say you talk crazy. You're talking crazy. Like you put it on the wing. And my son do like the fuck out of here, son.
Yeah.
Nah, son, we not doing that, beloved. Nah, that's what's up, yo. Artists make better music when they have something to prove versus something to protect. Bars or cap? Oh, so shout out to the Reemo Meerak brand team.
Yeah. That right there is a good question. And I would say this because knowing me, especially how my older self or previous self, I would say bars on that. And the reason why, because when you got something to prove, you go all out. Especially if you have a lot of, like say if you see yourself in a certain standard and you have something to prove, you're going to go all out to prove my point. Like I told you I was nice. I told you I could make records and I told you I could do this. You didn't want to listen, so I had to prove it.
Right.
You know, so I would say bars on that coming from my perspective, because even without music, let's just give an example. I don't like running, right? I'd rather jump rope than run. Right. So shout out to my boys that we was training one time and they running. So I would do a quick 6 laps, which is 2 miles, whatever, right? I think it's like 6 laps, 2 mile, 3 is 1, yeah. So anyway, so when we getting toward the 6th lap, here my boy talk about, all right, Conn, yo, fall back, yo, we gonna do our 16. You can't do that. So I ran with them. Yo, I did the entire 16 laps. The next day, my legs was on fire. I couldn't hardly walk. But don't ever challenge me. Yeah, don't tell me what I can't do.
Right.
I'm gonna prove it. So if I got a point to prove, even when it come to bench pressing, they was on the football team. Oh, you ain't gonna be able to bench that 3-something. Oh, yes, I am. Man, I don't care if you're 6'4" and I'm 5'8". I'm still benching 325. Right. No problem. Right. So that's just, I'm speaking from a personal perspective because I grew up with a lot of giants. I was the shortest one, but I stayed on their strength level. Why? Because you ain't going to be handling me. You know what I'm saying? I got something to prove. So when it comes to music, the same thing, man. So I'm going to say bars on that. Somebody else may see it as cap.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Unity in NYC Hip Hop is more of a myth than a reality. Bars or cap?
Unity in NYC Hip Hop. I mean, you said it's more than a myth than.
Yeah, it's more of a myth than a reality. Bars or cap? Oh my god.
Well, it's cap only because it it doesn't even, there's not much of it, right? So it's not a myth. It is reality. So we not say cap is more, you say it's more of a myth. So it's really more of the truth. So it's cap because unity in hip hop is not really there in New York. In New York, we speaking. Because we talk about NYC, you talking about Atlanta. The reason that Atlanta was the cultivators of hip-hop music for the last 15, 20 years is because they were all together. You can have the Dungeon family, you have T.I., you have whoever, Luda, all of them. There wasn't hardly any issues with them. They all will collaborate here and there, but not much. New York, every other day is like, I don't like this nigga. I ain't doing nothing with you. We rolling here. Forget them. It's them against us. It's us against them. New York doesn't have the unity. If New York got unified, forget about it.
Yeah, come on, B.
Yeah.
Yeah, word up. All right, a couple more, and then we gonna get up out of here. Sound off and get up out of here. My constitution is more mindset than music. Bars or cap? Yeah, the album.
Bars.
Okay, bars.
More of a mindset than the music because on that album, I did a song called Tell Me Something, and it was the first song that I opened up about certain things with myself, as opposed to me doing music and not really opening up the personalized door of just being an artist and creating, but not going too deep within the well of self. But what I went through made me have more transparency, and also because of that, now as an artist, I see that as an open field for me to just go more inside, because people can relate with you more on a personal level when you truly go and give them some of your life outside of just the music and the creative form, but going into subjects that you may not talk about. So it was therapeutic. So yeah, definitely.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah. All right, last one. Your best work is still ahead of you. Bars or cap?
Bars.
All right, well, bars, kid.
And bars because now I'm producing my music, and nobody knows better what kind of beats I need than me. And it may have taken me some time, and I'm still in infant stages as far as I'm concerned. I'm being told these beats are crazy, this music is amazing, and I'm looking at it as I'm still in kindergarten. I just got out the crib. I'm in school now, but at least I'm in the school. I'm in kindergarten. Shout out to all the legendary producers, but the reason that the best has yet to come, because y'all have never heard a project produced by Sean Conn. And me producing my project is gonna take me to another level.
All right, man. We're gonna drop the mic right here. So based on everything you just said, is hip hop evolving or just adapting to survive? Bars or cap, and then we are out of here.
All right, hip hop is evolving. So bars in that fact, it's evolving in many ways because it's so young. So there are different aspects I personally may not like, it's not my taste, but it is evolving because different sounds are evolution. So true, it is evolving. But I'll say cap on some of the evolving of it. Some of it is not really hip hop. It's music. It should have its own category, but it's really not hip hop. So whatever you want to call it, but you can't really call it hip hop if we want to be frank about it.
All right, man. You already know what it is, man. Sean Conn, Sean Conn, looking at the camera right now, right there. Let everybody know where to follow you at, man.
All right. So first of all, salute to Silk Road in Jamaica, Queens. That's my place. Silk Road. You already know what it is. Sohan, salute to you. Sean Conn, everybody. You can find me, Sean Conn, SeanConn on everything. That's my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Instagram, you can follow me. Everything else is that Sean Conn 00, Hip Hop Secret Agent. You know me. I'm on a mission.
You already know what it is, my creatives. You know where to follow the Ruger Sprayer. You know where to go, Reemo Land. You know where to go to get Reemo approved. At Reemo Meerak _ on everything. At Culture, Urban, Tech, and Sports _ You know where to go. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Apple, DJ Chase Radio, FM, Amazon Music, YouTube. You know how this goes, kid. On another note, this was another edition of Cuts. You know how the slogan goes here, my creatives. Hands over the eyes. 8-1, baby. It's the 2 up. Turn that 2 over. Ruger's up. You already know what it is, man. And that is peace.
Oh, to the garden. It's a New York sound like we in the garden. Huh? Everybody with a check ain't certified. If you look behind, they say you see a murder house.